You guys beat me in here this morning. Good morning. How's everybody doing today? It's Sunday. Happy Sunday. Let's see who we got today. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Oh, I gotta scroll up. You guys were prompt. So, good morning to Cece, Forging, Ty, Shelly. Who else? Gwen. That's my art. Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing this morning? Can you hear me? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Good morning. Morning, morning, morning. Thumbs up. Yeah, a little bit. Well, not the sniffles. Okay, thank you. That's my art. Thank you, thank you. So, I'm gonna get to doing some things today. Hey, Chasm, how are you? Good morning, Tamiko. Tamiko, I sent you an email yesterday evening, late. I was getting my coffee together. Mold spores? No. Hey, Jacqueline, how are you? How's everybody? Okay, I just want to get my chat together. Let me go to put myself on live chat so I can see everybody. Make sure I don't lose anybody. First, brother. I don't know about that. No problem, Shelly. You tired, but you here, Cece? I'm tired too. I was up late last night doing some things. I don't know. I just couldn't. I took a nap yesterday, and it kind of messed me up with going to sleep last night. So, yeah, that's what I did. I took a nap yesterday, and it messed up my sleep last night. And then this morning, when my alarm went off, then hey, I didn't want to get up. Brother, don't. I don't know if Rich Black Man gonna give you an update today. Oh no, why'd you have a garden meltdown, Fortune? Tell us about it. Stay clean from yesterday. Why did you have a garden meltdown? What happened? How your seedlings doing? Okay, so uh today, because everything is hard, like the ground is hard. Yeah, I mean, I know that he has an update. But yeah, how you doing, Patrick? You, what you growing? I'm growing a lot of things. We'll get to it in a bit. All right, no update today, Shelly. See, brother, you better dare. They be waiting. I told you. One day you're gonna listen to me. All right. So yesterday, let me know all the work you know, Chaz. So much to do, and this, yeah. So I'm getting a little bit. I feel you, Fortune. I'll tell you why I feel you. I'm out on a sun porch, and I also want to get stuff done outside. You know what? Before I start, let me. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the stream this morning. This morning we're gonna be talking about everybody needs to calm down. Calm down. Let's ease into the spring planning. That is the topic for today. We're gonna get to it. So everybody watching a replay, thank you so much for watching the replays. I hope you enjoy the content and the subject matter and all those things. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So let's get through a few ground housekeeping rules, all those things, right? Number one, if you're coming in, right, go in and make sure you hit the like button on your way in so that you don't forget. Number two, there is a poll up. If you're watching a replay, you can't take the poll, but if you're in here now, take the poll. Have you put anything outside for spring yet? Number 3, thank you to my mods. I think you guys are some of the greatest mods on YouTube. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you want to, one of you mods or however many of you want to, go in and start dropping your channels at the top of the stream this morning. We'll do it again later, but go ahead and do that. Number 3, before anybody comes in, even if you're watching a replay, we don't grow cannabis over here. So let's try to refrain from that. And then another housekeeping rule, this is a PG-13 stream. If you can't come in here and be respectful, I'm sorry. My mods they be on it and you will get blocked. All right. Mods, did I cover everything? I think I covered everything, right? So hey Tia, hey Nisi. Let me see. I saw you guys coming in. Magma Snowy, hello, 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 hello. See, you saw what Shelly said? Saw what Shelly said? She said, don't nobody care about your little game update. We want Plant Daddy here, okay? So yeah, you put everything out and now you have to frost cloth everything and it'll be in the 30s tomorrow night. Yes, CC, I feel you. So I'm a little bit, that's a little annoying, right? So it's starting to get cold, and one of the things that we have to ease into the spring with patience is actually paying attention to the weather. So we're going to get into that. Before I get into that, I want to finish up something that I didn't go over yesterday. Things that I know that we already know, but I'm going to say it anyway for any beginner or anybody who doesn't necessarily know. So it's freezing up there in Fort McCoy. Yeah. It's kind of chilly outside here too. Yeah, they don't care about your little game, brother, unless it's a gardening game. You hear that? Nobody cares about your little game. You had to switch to your computer. Four Seasons, you got a little badge this morning. I don't know if you noticed. Welcome to the family, even though you were the family anyway. Fam bam. Okay, so let's before I get into easing into the spring, I forgot to cover this yesterday. I'm gonna cover it today. Your last frost date was March the 3rd. Oh, CC, don't be sad. You're getting a little bit of what we're getting. Same here. Monday and Tuesday night will be 29 and 30 degrees. I was going to evict these jungle in my indoor greenhouse, but I can't until after the freezing temperatures. I am the same way. You better not time them out. You better not time them out. So I'm going to help y'all out a little bit because y'all may not know what Jacqueline's is, but I did give her one. There we go. See if that works. We want to see if it works. Rules don't count this year, CC. It ain't your fault. Okay, so Jacqueline's work. Everybody else, you could type in yours. Low of 37 on Monday in San Antonio. Okay. Okay. 84 degrees tomorrow. I'm going to the water park. I'll take pics for y'all. That is so kind of you, brother, to rub it in our face about your warm weather. Are y'all having infighting in the chat this morning? I love it. Brother, they ain't no punk. They ain't taking no junk from you this morning. Good morning, Patty. All right, so something in my eye. All right, so let's go back to the soil. Remember yesterday we talked about feeding the soil, not your plants, right? And so I said I was going to give him some tips and tricks, and then I realized at the end I forgot to give the tips and tricks. So number 1, you start a compost pile, layer 3 parts, dry leaves, cardboard, straw with 1 part green, kitchen scraps, green clippings. Keep it moist like a wrung out sponge. Turn it weekly and add oxygen to speed up the breakdown. Okay? So, yeah, we got that. And then we got the vermicomposting that we talked about. Set up a plastic bin with shredded newspaper, bedding, and red wiggler worms. You know who has one of these? Shelly has one. She showed me yesterday because I was a little curious about what it means. I'm focused, CC. I'm trying to focus. All right. A little bit more complex is hot composting. The Berkeley method. Build a 3 by 3 by 3 foot pile with precise 25-to-1 carbon to nitrogen ratio. Turn every 2 days. Maintain an internal temperature of 140 to 160 degrees. I can't do that. All right, I can't do that because I just don't have the patience. And then compost tea, I think Cece does the compost tea. Steep finished compost or worm castings in aerated water for 24 to 48 hours. Strain and apply as soil drench and foliar spray with the rapidly multiply beneficial microbes across the bed. So Cece, I think you do the compost tea. Tell us how well it works for you, right? Straw mulch, I think I might have told you guys that I'm starting to straw mulch this year. So straw mulch is essentially spreading 2 to 3 inches of straw or less around your vegetable beds to suppress seeds. It holds moisture, slowly feeds bacteria as it breaks down. Ideal for annual beds. So you straw mulch once a season. Uh, Shelly saying she wants to do compost tea. That's my art. You do compost tea as well. It works well. Garden plants do wonderful. Okay. So I have a question about the compost tea. What kind of bags do you put your, I wouldn't do I don't have rabbit manure, but like I do have worm castings. So I put it in a little baggie. Is it like the little mesh baggies from, like you can get from Michael's or Hobby Lobby? You just put it in some water. And is there like a water ratio? Is there a water ratio? You want to try, everybody wants to goat poop. I don't know about goat poop. I'll let Jacqueline answer that. I don't know about goat poop. But yeah, you put the worm castings in water and you let it sit, and then you just go in and do you use the foliar spray or do you just water your plants in? That's what I want to know about the compost tea. Because I actually may try that. Wood chip mulch, I've done that before. Apply 3 to 4 inches of wood chips around trees, shrubs, perennial beds. So that's for wood chips. I don't um, I don't have trees yet. So my brother says, you got jokes, brother. I'm going to read this comment. Rich Black Man Plant Daddy says, you ever thought about groundhog poop since you got one as a pet? Simon is not my pet. I want Simon to go away. Have you checked me out on TikTok or IG and you saw Simon playing around in my backyard? Simon needs to find another home and not come over here again. Okay? No, they carry the plague. Okay. How you doing, Rob? Good morning. You bought rabbit poop on Facebook Marketplace. Turns out he's my neighbor, so I'll probably ask him for more. The commercials got you this morning? Wow. Okay. So, leaf mold. Most of us have done leaf mold. Or, oh, you got jokes too, Shelly. Or skunk poop. Very interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, that's right, Patty. Simon don't pay no bills over here, so he got to go. Matter of fact, Simon is actually costing us a lot of money. Simon and Peter the skunk over here. Simon and Peter are costing us money because we had to hire someone to come over here and put out traps. So I don't like it. They both got to go. Both of them got to go. Okay? Simon and Peter the skunk got to go. Luckily, I haven't seen the rabbit around lately. I haven't seen the rabbit in a couple years. I think I scared it to death. But yeah. All right, so leaf mold. We all do leaf mold. I rake up leaves. So you collect all your fall leaves in a wire cage or bag or box or whatever. Dampen them, let them sit for 1 or 2 years. I don't let mine sit for 1 or 2 years. But yeah, Simon and Peter, they costing us a lot of money. Do y'all know how much catchers cost? Yes, I named them. The wildlife control, whatever you call these people, they don't just come, like, even like, so we have a trap. They won't come and take them away if we trap them ourselves. So you have to hire someone that has license to take them away. No, Patty, go hire. They cost about $650 if they're charging the same as last year. That's insane just to catch some animals and take them away. That's crazy. What I want to know is when they catch Peter the skunk, how are they going to get him out of here without him spraying? Like, I don't want my backyard or my house smelling. So I want to know, how are they going to get Peter out of here if they catch him? Yeah, we can live trap ourselves, but if we live trap it, Fortune, who gonna take him away? See, you know. So I pay burying them in the backyard for free, Rob. But here, okay, so I get what y'all are saying. You think I should catch it and do something with it myself. Here's the thing. Who who is gonna take it to the lake? I don't live near a lake, and if it sprays me, well, my husband, because I'm not going out there. Then what? Then I gotta sit in a bath of tomato juice for days, and I can't do that because I have a board meeting for work on Wednesday, and I have to be there. Free fertilizer for your garden. I just that makes me want to just throw up thinking about it. Let me go back to Cece's comment because I think I asked actually. You make your tea in a 30-gallon container and you make sure it's diluted enough, and then you water your plants. God is going to take them away. Take me away. Okay. Free fertilizer for my. I hear what y'all are saying. Put it in a huge bed. Do you have to defer it first? I don't know. I can't do it. It gives me the ick. I can't do it. I can't do it. Husband said he had animal control, haul one, and he caught it. Oh, I can't. We had a groundhog before, and he had to hire a trapper. It's illegal to RIP them. Yeah, I think it's illegal to. I am, I am scary. Yes, I am. I don't like to hear things moving around me if I don't know if something is there. Yes, I am. I am guilty. Yes, I am. Okay, guilty. Nobody said that I was trying to hide being scary. Okay, okay. You're funny, brother. Matter of fact, let's say this. Fur is great for the garden. Make sure the squirrels are. Cece, make sure the squirrels are watching. Okay, okay. Uh, Shelly, I caught what you said. It accidentally choked. So somebody told me when I catch something to let it go for a swim and then bury it. Like swim in a big container and cover the container. If I raise rabbits, y'all fur game will be tight. Oh my God, y'all are a mess. Okay, animal control won't take it away here if we trap them. We live in the country. Animals were here first. Wow, that's a mess. All right, so let's go back to some of the tips and tricks. I think foraging does this. Foraging plants cover crops. So some cover crops that they give are clover, peas, beans, or vetch in off-season beds. I don't plant cover crops because I don't want to have to um, I don't want to have to clean the bed off, and I'm kind of afraid of like I'm not afraid of weeds, but I don't like having to pick weeds. And then you can actually chop and drop them after you do the after you know well yeah, cover crops basically. Top dress, we talked about that yesterday. I top dress my beds. So top dressing is essentially putting uh, compost on top of your beds. Um, Worm castings, we talked about that. Mix it into your potting mix and apply a half an inch around your plant bases. So worm castings, biochar. I've never actually tried biochar. After slow burned wood charcoal. So um, you put it, well, 5 to 10% by volume after charring it with compost. That seems like it's a lot of work for me. That is a very advanced thing for me. You use biochar? Tell us how you do it. Yeah. So Cece, that might be what my issue is. Yes, Ty, let it go for a swim. Gypsum. So if you have clay soil, use gypsum. We talked about no dig yesterday. We talked about the cardboard on top, wetting it for like your worms and stuff. We talked about crop rotation. We talked about chop and drop, and that's essentially just what you do. Instead of pulling finished plants, cut them at the base and leave them on the soil surface. The roots decompose. So I don't know if you guys realize, but last season I did chop and drop with some of my pepper limbs and stuff like that. I just used all the foliage, I chopped it up, and I left it in the soil. I kind of like mixed it in, and when I went out there couple like yesterday and a couple days ago, I noticed that it's all composted down. And pH balancing, which I still did not look up how to use my little pH tool, but those are the tips that I forgot to go over yesterday, so we went through them today. uh So you bought a bag of biochar but haven't used it yet. Let us know in Discord once you use it. Oh, it's already made. You just add it to the compost tea. So you could just buy it. Okay, so Chasm, CC says you just add it to your compost tea. Forgent, I don't know. So Forgent is asking, so you just throw it, wood ash and stuff in the fire. Is that biochar? I don't know. Yeah, wood ash is great. Right. Let's say when the wind does down, I have stuff to. Oh, when the wind goes down, you have stuff to burn. We can't. Where I live at, we can't burn. My grandmother has like a pile that she burns stuff. So yeah, wood ash is not the same as biochar, but it's still good for the garden. Thank you, Joe. Welcome back. We got a new friend yesterday, y'all. Joe came in and he was actively participating yesterday, and I really do appreciate it. Yeah, not the same. Okay. So let's go to this poll. We've been in here about 20 something minutes. I'll give you a couple more seconds. If you haven't taken the poll, go in and take the poll. You burn all the papers, letters, and mail you get, you add it to your compost pile. Okay. They said, hey, Joe, your garden looks great. I'm going to go take a look at Joe's garden in a minute. So let's end this poll. And I bet you, those of you that are currently planting in your garden, you live in zones. Matter of fact, tell me what zone you live in, because 61% of us have not started planting outside yet. Actually, I take that back. I have started planting outside, but they're brassicas. My spring summer stuff, not going outside yet. 9A. Good morning, Nichols. I don't know if I missed you, but good morning. 8B, good morning, y'all. Have a blessed day. Hope you're okay. Uh, Lady Bass, 8B, good morning. Are you planning, Lady Bass? Well, I had some cucumbers out for fun, and they lived for 2 weeks. 10A, okay, Rob, you down there in Florida where my brother is with the Gators. Rob, I got a question for you. Would you play with an alligator? It's not a trick question, it's a real question. You're in 7, you could have already put a few things out, but you're glad that you didn't. You have a couple days of below freezing temps coming up. Right. I put you only planted blackberries. Okay, zone 7B, Maryland. That's where Shelley's is. Your mustard collards and brassicas are out. You have some squash under clear cups. Okay, so you put your squash out and then you put cups on top of them. Planting here is super hard. Hey Jay Simpson, tell us where you are in your grow zones. Jay, welcome into the stream. I hope everybody is hitting that thumbs up on the way in. Mustards and collards are still doing great. Okay. So yeah, I have out there, I did put back my frost covers. How long does it take mine to germinate? A long time. I don't remember how long it took, but it took a long time. Matter of fact, I forgot to bring out those seeds that I put in the fridge. I'll probably do that offline and come back and show you guys a video later. I'll show you guys that later because I do have intentions of planting stuff. At our Jubilee, you can get into a pool with baby alligators. What, CC? Have you gotten into a pool with a baby alligator? So, Rob, I asked because my brother says that the alligators are friendly. We have been in the 80s for the past 3 weeks, and tonight is supposed to go down to the 29s. That's diabolical. Diabolical. That's diabolical. You got in there. Do they like nibble at you? You did plant peas, carrots, potatoes, and etc., but you have to dig them up now. Why do you have to dig them up, Ty? Wow. Okay. So they probably, if that's what garden is on foot is on your stuff. Arkansas is either too hot or freezing. 50 miles per hour winds tear it up. Wow. They said, Cece, why would you want to get in there with an alligator? Oh, you had to move things back to your greenhouse. I want a greenhouse. But as we determined yesterday, I want a bougie greenhouse, they said. Oh, wow. Okay. All right. So we're going to tackle a few things today. I am going to show you guys the ceilings. We're going to move some stuff from hydroponics to some pots. So we're going to do a bunch of things today. So everybody, I think you did it already, but if you haven't dropped in what zone, where you are and what zone you're in, drop that in the chat, all those things, right? So here's the deal. Most of us want to get things in the garden. We want to do it now. We had that nice weather last week, so we want to go outside. Like, did you see my video last week? Like, you see the smile? It was because I was outside, right? And I was itching to go outside, but there's a lot of things that you need to prepare before you go outside. So most of us are getting ready for the spring and stuff like that, but just be careful with going outside too early. Okay, it's because you're moving. Gotcha. Um, it's because you're moving. Okay, okay. Let's start this goal. We're gonna put a. Nisha says, "Good morning." So 7A, you're just doing starts indoors, and you have to start potatoes on Tuesday. I have a question about the potatoes. I don't know if any. At what temperature is it not okay to plant these potatoes? Tell me. Like, at what point would you bring the potato bags inside if you're doing it in bags? What temperature? So I'm a little curious about that. Miss JK said, not that much facing your fields in the world. Okay. All right. So here's the deal. We're chomping at the bits to go outside, but let's do a little bit of protection and preparation. So white potatoes, you bring them in, they could take cold, so start them and they know what to do. Gotcha, Four Seasons. Yeah, you'll see that I started some. There's a video dropping soon. So how many of you guys use the do-it-yourselves milk jug clothes? I don't know if I said that right, where you cut out the bottom of the milk jug, and if you have something planted out, you put the milk jug on top of your plants. How many of you guys do that? So that's a way to protect your plants if you've already put them outside, right? Good morning, LGGG. She's saying good morning. Your potatoes are tucked in here just waiting. Why, Fortune, can you tell us why you're waiting? Because I think you could do them now. Okay. So Tamiko, you do the milk clothes. So milk clothes or whatever is just a fancy word for plant cover. So you take a clear milk jug, you cut the bottom out, place it over your ceiling like a tiny greenhouse, and it traps the warmth from the sun over the plants. So it's cost effective. It costs you $0 to do that. And yours have been out since November. Wow. Okay. Have you done that in the past? Clothes from Dollar Tree? Yeah. You've seen people plant them in February and they're fine. No, they're in the bed just waiting. Gotcha. So here's a tip for those that are using the milk jugs. Make sure you leave the cap off on sunny days so that the plant doesn't overheat, and put the pack the cap back on at night to hold in the heat, right? For your black, so Lady Bass is saying for your blackberry plants, you mulch them and you're gonna put 5-gallon buckets over them tonight. Good job on planting those blueberry, protecting them. St. Patty date for some zones. Plant out some potatoes. Gotcha, gotcha. Saint, gotcha. Okay. So, and then here's something that I didn't know that I found to be interesting. So, thermal mass with milk jugs. So, fill dark colored jugs or bottles with water and sit them near your plants. The dark colors absorb the sunlight during the day and then slowly release heat overnight, like a little space heater for your garden. Have you guys ever heard of that? Have you guys ever heard of planting the dark water bottles out and them being space heaters for your plants? Now, I don't know if that works, but that's what the internet says. Okay, so you're just experimenting. Yes, CC says don't plant any sweet potatoes now. So let's say you have a container, and I guess you can either plant it or whatever. Let it sit out during the day, and then at night it acts as a space heater for your jug. So I found that very interesting, and I think I found about a few videos about it too. So dark colored jugs. All right, so we got that. All right, all right, all right. Let me focus. All right. Um, Marty Rainey taught you that? Okay, you did the black 50 gallons for your greenhouse. Interesting. Interesting. So yeah, that's something new that I didn't know. Black or green jugs work best. Even a few of them can raise the temperature around your plants by several degrees overnight. Now, for those of you that are in warmer climates like CC and Rob and other than right now, it's diabolical that you guys are getting wetter in the 30s. But normally, if you're more worried about heat than frost, layer mulch strips around so that it could be insulation to your soil, keeping the ground cooler and protecting your plant um, from the warmth. Yes, Chaz, I used the metal bins. They were cooking the plant roots in the sun. From learning that, you switch to dark pots. There you go. So I had no idea. Boulder blossoms. Good morning. Good morning. Okay, so fill your dark jugs with water, not the metal ones, because you saw Lady Bass said that it cooked her plants. And let's do that. Okay. All right, so we got that part done. Not only jugs, but black containers filled with water in your greenhouse to release heat. Yeah. Pause. I don't know. Yeah, I did pause because yeah. Light colored mulch when it's too hot. Okay. So yeah, I think I did say that. The green or black dark containers, fill it with water. It'll act as like a little heater for your plants if you're worried about them getting too cold. Okay? All right, so I see a lot of new people in here. Make sure you click that like button and hit subscribe. It is free to subscribe. It is free to hit the thumbs up. So, how many of you guys have a frost plan? Let's figure this out. What is your frost plan? Let's do this because I want to know what everyone else is using. And if you have any other tips and tricks to protect your plants from frost and stuff like that, type it on in the chat. And I know you guys said that these polls are hard. So what you need to do is put the one that you use the most. Put the one that you use the most. And we'll get to it. So for me, right now, the one that I use the most are frost cloths. That's kind of what I use. I use the frost cloths. Thank you for dropping the Discord in there, CC. Everybody, um, I'll take a minute to talk about the Discord for a moment. That's where quite a few of us are over there. I do have a Discord channel where we go in. There's several different forums. We talk about gardening. You show pictures of your garden, any troubleshooting, hydroponics, in bed, raised beds, all the things. Does anyone? No, you don't have to cheat. It's just whichever one you do. What do you do the most? What do you do the most? You only have the strawberries and lemon balm outside right now. You plan to use Aldi tent, greenhouse, and blankets. Okay. Okay, you have nothing to protect your frost cloths were not thick enough. Okay. Yeah, I double layered my frost cloths. Other than I don't have one other than buying a greenhouse for next year. This year you bought a greenhouse heater. Okay, for your pop-up. Gotcha. All right. Sheets are great. Yep, you can use bed sheets. You have strawberries and you didn't cover them. My strawberries that I mulched that were in the green stalk, bad. So we got rid of those and we got some bare root strawberries that we're gonna plant this year, which is fine. We have our transparent cover from the greenhouse to use, which is when it's a frost. Got it. Yeah, I double layered my frost cloth, and that's how some of the stuff was able to do it. Oh, your Aldi 10 is your go-to. We have a Aldi. I don't go in there, so not that I'm not allowed to do the supermarket shopping here, but I don't go to the supermarket. I write the list, and my other half goes to the supermarket because when I go to the supermarket, apparently I buy too much stuff, and then we end up having an extremely high grocery bill. So yeah. How you doing, Miss Ann? Welcome to the stream this morning. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. All right. Go to Will of Good. Get those used sheets. Okay. Yeah, you didn't cover your strawberries and they seem to be great. And you're starting some new bare root strawberries today. Nice. I'm not starting my bare root strawberries until I get the soil, the new soil for the green stalks. Lidl has the best gardening stuff. We might have to take a field trip, Gwen. Yeah, strawberries usually hold up great. I think it was maybe too moist or something. I don't know, but they. Plus, I needed to use the soil anyway. No harm, no foul. So yeah. So let's also talk about. We've already talked a little bit about what some of you guys have planted already. So let's talk about what to plant now: seedlings versus seeds right now. And it's cold. And let's start off simple. Not all plants are wimps. They just don't um, yeah, they don't want to be outside. But plants that can go outside are your brassicas. They can take some cold weather. Not today, but soon. Okay. So correction for Shelly. She's not gonna plant her bare roots today, but she's gonna plant them soon. The birds here love your strawberries so much, you would say. You know what I'm gonna do for the birds? I'm gonna get those little rocks that Cece has and I'm going to put them where my strawberries are, hoping that they come peck the rocks and then be like, yeah, these aren't real strawberries, and then decide to leave them alone. Okay, okay. So, Ty is asking, I'm gonna say this. She would like to know if and when y'all order plants or trees, who do y'all use because your lemon verbena took a beating and didn't travel well? RIP. I don't know. Hopefully, someone in the chat can answer you. Crazy, but you planted, Miss Ann says she planted her Napa cabbage and collards, mustards, unfortunately, purple hull peas. Okay. So, yeah, we're planning things out. You start simple. Um, so, here's a whole group of vegetable called cool season crops. Root vegetables like carrots, radishes, and beets hate being moved once they sprout. So you could do them, but try not to. And then So same goes for peas. They don't like being transplanted. Some people do it, but they don't like it. So, you start off with beginner vegetables, those type of things. I was thinking about putting like planting some carrots in, but I think I want to do my carrots in the paper towels and then take them out. Um, some plants like cabbages, broccoli, kale need a longer growing season. So if you want to go ahead and put those out now, cover them and protect them. They could take a beating though. Like they could take a beating. I actually, one of the first cold nights, I forgot to cover the cabbages and stuff, and I went outside and they were doing just fine. Just the very outside layers of them got a little frost burnt, but other than that, the plants themselves look very, very good. Good morning, Rose. Grand Rising. Sunflowers are coming up. Thanks for encouraging me. Okay, okay. All right. So, here's one thing that I do though. When you're transplanting out, and you guys tell me if you do this too. When you're transplanting out, do you transplant out on a sunny day or a cloudy day? I like to transplant on cloudy days, and I like to transplant out when it's drizzling outside, just because I feel like the plants, they can adapt to not being beat by the sun right away. So here's a question. Those of you that have raised beds, right? Cloudy day in the morning or evening. Okay. Yeah, I never do it midday. I'm busy midday most of the time anyway. Um, what was I getting ready to ask? I forgot. You never really notice the type of day, however you do it. Isaiah early in the, okay. So yeah, I'll either plant early in the morning, late in the evening, or I wait for it to be cloudy and drizzly outside. What's a frost blanket? It's essentially just like a cover. So let me show you. So all frost blankets are, you can use a sheet, and it's just a sheet or something that you cover your plants with. Frost blankets usually are a little bit thicker, and my gardener will have berries on sale the soonest. Okay, what kind of like trees? I'm not really sure. I think you mean like berry trees, and that was for, I think Ty asked that. Yeah, just don't put them in full sun. Exactly, that's my art. Exactly. Let me show you two examples of frost blankets. Like I said, they're a little bit thicker. So you guys know that I have some for the green stalk, and then I have a regular one that I kind of cut. Okay. Okay. So for the person asked to for the frost blankets, right? This is what Greenstock makes for their covers, right? See this? This is the frost blanket. I probably need to fold these up because I don't really think I need them. But then again, I'm not going to put them up just in case I do decide to plant something out. So let me just toss this over to the side. And then let me just show you this. So this is the frost blanket that I have. You could use a sheet, but I double layered this one because it's a little bit thinner. And it's just something that I use over my hoops to cover my plants to protect it. I don't know. Four Seasons, if you're on a laptop, that might be why you're getting them. That's what they're saying. But I see them too because I have my laptop open. YouTube be tripping. Some days they put none out, some days they put someone out. But hey. So that's the frost blanket. And I'm actually, you've never heard or seen that contraption before? You've never heard of a frost blanket, or you never, so Greenstock has one that goes over their Greenstock. But you can also, a less expensive way to do it is to simply go get you some sheets and put them over your plants. So let's see. You're on a laptop. They're coming in for you today. Yeah, YouTube, they're funny. Okay. So, yes, I have the commercials turned on. And no, I'm not sorry. Yeah, you're getting everybody else's CC. Mm-hmm. All right. So, when you plant your carrot seeds, put them in a row, it's easier to protect them. All right, let me see what you guys are saying. So, mostly you guys use frost blankets. Some of you guys are just hoping that your plants live. And then some of you guys, 19% of you guys, have a greenhouse. I'm hoping that I'll be a part of the greenhouse crew pretty soon. So, we see that in there. That's right, Rose. If you let the commercials play, YouTube does hook me up a teeny bit, okay? Teeny bit. So Joe says he started with 3 fig trees and he has way too many from propagation. Okay. Good morning, Chris. Good morning. Good morning. So, yeah. All right. Here's the part that I talk about a lot. So, let's start something else. Let me see. While I type this in, can you guys tell me what your planting style is? And you'll see what I mean by that in a second. What is your planting style? And for those that you're chaotic, okay. Thank you, Four Seasons. I appreciate that. So we're gonna get to the chaos in a minute, but I want to know about your planning style, and this is why I'm asking. Before we get to that part, right? Most of us do a little bit of both, right? Um, and that's because we have been investing our time, money, patience with planting these seeds. We're gonna drop seeds in the ground, but some of us also go out and buy seedlings. Now, we do have those people who have no time and patience, and they simply go to the store and they buy all their plants and they, just do it. And then you have some people who don't want to bother with seedlings or whatever at all, and all you want to do is drop your seeds. So tell me, what are you doing? How do you do? You put a mix. So you put a mix. However, the only one you didn't do from seeds is tomato this year. However, you had much success seeing tomatoes as well. So I think that I'm gonna have um, some seeds. I think I'm gonna have some tomato plants that self-seeded from last year when tomatoes fell. I'm actually going to move those. My whole garden structure, not structure, but my layout of what I'm planting where is going to be a little bit different this year. Based off of the new garden bed, I get to plant some other things and I get to plant more things this year, thank God. But most of us, yeah, most of us do a little bit of both. And then there's that one that that just buys plants. You don't have to confess to the chat which one you are. Okay. And I feel like I'm a little behind the ball because I haven't started any tomato seeds, but I'm not afraid to start tomato seeds. Here is my dilemma. I want to start my tomato seeds now because I'm going down to South Carolina at the beginning of April, right? So I want to be able to take at least 2 or 3 tomato plants down to my grandmother that she likes that they don't sell near her. But if I start them now and I have so many seedlings on my sun porch, and it does get hot back here if you don't open up windows and stuff, and if I plant anything and it's going to get hot and the water's going to evaporate, even if I leave water in these trays, these 10, 20 trays, are all my plants going to be dead when I come back? So that's my dilemma. I want to start more seeds now, but I know I'm leaving for a week. So I'm probably going to have to ask someone or give them access at least to the back sun porch area to help me have my plants survive if I leave anything in these systems. So you didn't buy many plants, a few peppers, and you have a Cherokee purple. So I'm going to plant a Cherokee purple. I'm going to plant several black creme. I'm going to do my saucing in thick-skinned, not thick-skinned, but thick-bodied tomatoes like the Romas, San Marzanos, and I'm going to do a couple slicers. I don't want too many tomatoes because I'm the only one in the house that eats tomatoes, right? So you haven't started tomatoes, you can start tomatoes the last week of March for planting and then planting out Mother's Day weekend. So maybe I'll just start her tomatoes and then I'll start my tomatoes when I get back, but then they're going to be late going out unless I start my tomatoes right before I leave because then they'll be fine. How does that sound? You started out with all seedlings from local garden stores, but that was expensive, so you started seeds and now you're only buy stuff if you have. Okay. So let me go back to my question. I think we're good with this question right here. Let's go back to my dilemma. I'm going to let y'all weigh in. Here are my options. Is everybody listening? Thumbs up if you can hear me if you're listening. Here we go. I'm leaving that I won't be here the entire first week of April, right? I want to take my grandmother 4 to 5 tomato plants. But I also need to start my tomato plants too. So I'm thinking if I start my grandmother's tomato plants now, they'll be big enough to take to my grandmother. But then if I start my tomato plants right before I leave, then they won't die while I'm gone. How does that sound to everybody? Or if you have any other suggestions, let's hear it now. What is that over there? Sorry, y'all. Let me know what you're thinking, because I know what I'm thinking. I think my plan sounds about right. Let me know. I'll wait for your responses on that. So while I wait for your responses on what you would do, let me try this. And if that's the case, I'm going to drop some of those. So I'm going to hydro start my grandmother's tomatoes today so that they're big enough to take. And then I'm going to start my tomatoes the last week, or in a couple weeks, so that, I don't know, so that they don't die while I'm away. So I think that's what I'll do. Because in my head, it sounds like that'll work. She said, say it one more game. Oh, I love that. So I think that'll work. Okay. All right. So okay. Yeah, I just had to talk. See, this is why I love having live streams with all of you gardeners in here, because I could talk through stuff And y'all will be 100% honest with me on whether or not y'all think I'm making a mistake. What is going on over there? I'm going to show y'all something in a minute. Start in hydro and then come back and start. Yeah. And plus I have to start some for a couple people that I'm going to help in their gardens. 1 week. 1 week, Jacqueline, 1 week. The house has arisen. I'm starting to hear people in there. So I'll be gone for 1 week. And while I'm gone, I'll try to live stream so you guys can hang out or talk to Granny. She's actually looking forward to it. She asked me already, are you bringing your stuff down here? And I said, of course I am. Let's try this. Last year you did an experiment growing tomatoes in the greenhouse through the winter and was harvesting tomatoes through February and March already, as well as seeding during the time the ones outside. All right, Kazim, you have a great day at work on purpose. Have a great day. So, LGG, here's what the concern is so that you don't have to be confused. During the day, my sun porch gets very hot. So even if they're growing in hydroponics, they won't, the water in the hydroponics may evaporate or be used by the plant much, much too fast if I start them now. If I start off my tomatoes now, they're going to be so big that they're going to drink up the water super fast. That's why I said I can't just leave these seedlings on this back porch while I'm away because they'll die. And I've had that happen before. Like on spring break, we've like taken my daughter to Disney and I had seedlings back here. And if someone doesn't come check on them, I come back to a holy RIP mess. Like most of everything will be gone on to glory. So yeah. Is my front porch. So I don't have a front porch. I'm sitting in the sunroom on the back of my house and it's enclosed. It has 2 sliding doors and then windows that I can open, but we don't like leaving the sliding doors open because if it rains, it will mess up the floors. So I can leave the windows open, but I'm not sure that leaving the windows open will do whatever it is. Okay. But yeah, so that's what my thing is. So for the most part, when I leave, the stuff that's in these hydroponics are going to be new seeds so that when I get back, they'll be coming up. I think that's what we said. All right. So you see the poll there? And this is why I bring it up about the chaos versus traditional. I'll tell you that my grandmother is a traditional gardener. She builds out her rows. She likes to plant in rows. And from time to time, she defers from that, but not very often. And then when she comes here and she sees my garden and things are like everywhere, she doesn't like it. Right? Oh, I forgot. Grow big. I forgot that I had the little emotes. So yeah, you guys make sure you use the emotes. So she likes traditional rows. Sometimes I do traditional rows, but more often than not, I do not. For me, I have done square foot gardening. I think Cece is trying square foot gardening in certain parts of her garden, which for her, it is very hard because she wants plants in any free space in her garden. So it's hard for her, right? I ain't no punk. Yeah, so that is what Cece tries to do. She's gonna try to do the square foot method, but no. I would take the tomatoes inside, not unless you want to purchase blackout curtains. Mm, I don't know. I'll think about it. If I take them inside, how they gonna get light? Yeah, Granny likes order. So I don't know if you remember from her video, all her collard greens were planted in a straight row. She had, and what she does and what she's doing now is, yes, I spied on her, so I have cameras around the outside of her house. She's doing her garden now, and I saw her have my uncles build out her rows for her and like chop and drop and all that other stuff. She likes to see those rows. Hey, baby steps, how are you? So she likes to see those rows, and she does not like the square foot gardening because she's like, she doesn't know how many plants, even down to the carrots and everything, they're in rows. She likes, she wants the structure. So that might be where I get part of my structure from. So I build, and for my garden, I build in a little bit of both. Yes, I spied on her. Um, I do a little bit of both. So when I first started gardening up here, I did everything in rows, but I don't have as much space as her. So I use square foot gardening, kind of. Well, at first I was using strict square foot, and then I was forgetting where I put stuff because I didn't label properly. So don't be like me unless you really want the surprises. But then I was planting stuff where I had already planted stuff, and then everything was coming up. It was a total chaotic mess. Now, you do have those people, I don't remember who said it, but you have those people who go out and just sprinkle seeds, and they do the broadcasting, and good for them. She should put on a show for Chaz. She has sometimes. Y'all know what she does when she knows that I'm looking, or she wants me to see something that she's doing in the garden because she knows where the cameras are. She will take something and she'll walk to where the camera is. She'll be like, "Oh, look at my such and such," and she'll put it up so I can see it on the camera. And then she'll call me and she'll go, "Go look at the cameras at this time. I showed you my turnips, or I showed you my whatever." So she does do that sometimes. Let me go back. Four Seasons says, "I've only used the square foot method. It works for me. You can try it, and if it doesn't work, go back to what works for you." Absolutely. So I think the square foot method will work. I'm gonna show you guys something that I haven't shown on the channel yet. I'm gonna give you a little, matter of fact, I don't have to show you. Y'all know those square foot tools? My brother got me one. And so that's what I'm gonna use. I'm gonna do different things in different places of my garden. So for the square foot method, I'm gonna use that for the raised garden bed. You never did that, but I've got mystery seeds at the bottom of your seed box. You've been trying to figure out what to do with them. If you have a designated space that you don't care about what's planted there, toss those seeds in your designate in that space and see what comes up. And then once it comes up, once you figure out, once they show you who they are, you could try thinning them out. That would be what I would. Now, I don't really have mysterious seeds, but yeah, brother, I'm not repeating that. So tell me what you do. Okay, you're back. Okay, so CC, I was telling the chat here that you are trying your hardest because you took some classes to do square foot method, and it's really hard for you because you want to fill all the spaces in your garden. You don't like to see the space. You're growing on the deck of your townhouse, so it's bags and a planter and boxes for me, hoping to start a homestead with more. CC, I'm getting dressed for church, mod away. Yeah. I still have my, do I have my mod functions on? I think I do. Okay, so I can see it too. So you guys don't worry about it today. You know, knock on wood, trolls have been very minimal today. I think YouTube switched the trolls for, they switched the trolls for ads today. Baby steps, urban gardening. Baby steps, correct. You can also use a milk crate for square foot too. Yeah. So yeah. So let's talk about this chaos gardening. If you're a chaos gardener, tell us why. You just started the square foot method. You could use string to grid out the beds. Now you just eyeball it. Square foot gardening. Here, I'm going to show you guys a tool. We're going to do it today. You'll also see this on a video coming soon, but let me show you. So like they said in the chat, you can use a string, you could use a ruler um, and measure it out. But square foot gardening is essentially you put a certain amount of plants within 1 square foot, right? Because you get overwhelmed with no plan. So this is a square foot, and you see it has all the colors on here, right? And it could be really hard for those of you that don't like to see spaces in your garden. So you put this down, and for me, this one came with a guide, and it tells you how many plants and how far apart to put the plants um, when you're planting. For example, it says for carrots, you could put 16 carrots, and it gives you, and what you would do is for the ruler, you see the red tells you where you would put the 16. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 square foot, and you would drop one per, and then that way your spacing is right. You don't have to worry about your plants being overcrowded and all those things. So this you'll see on a video coming soon. I'm going to talk about it. It's going to be in a video coming soon, but that is essentially what the square foot method is. And it'll tell you. So here's why people have problems with the square foot method. They don't like to see the extra space when they first put out plants. And it looks like your garden is bare. But what happens is as the plants mature and they get bigger, then you'll see that they fill out the appropriate space, and you don't have to worry about the overcrowding and all that other stuff. You're digging the tool. So Cece says, I love chaos gardening. It's freeing. No boundaries. Need you say more? Yeah. Basically, the square foot method gives you boundaries. Sounds like it would work, but you also just want to have fun. So that is why for certain parts of my garden, I'm going to eyeball it. It's going to be chaos. But for the raised garden bed, because I've never had a raised garden bed before, I'm going to use the square foot method until I get the hang of it, right? So Boulder Blossom says, I'm not really chaos, but allow the garden to lead me. Sounds crazy, but the garden tells me what it wants. Doesn't sound crazy at all. Doesn't sound crazy at all. Yes, you can just use a real ruler, and you would just need to know or research how many plants go, like whether you're going to do the 16. Yeah, you can use a ruler. You can use string. I think I saw CC use string. All those things. So all you really need to do is Google square foot gardening and stuff like that, and you're good to go. Chaotic gardening will have you planting okra too close to cabbages. Yes. But I actually don't put my okra near my cabbages anyway. So like for me, there's a method to my madness. So yeah, you could use a ruler. Jess is having to do some marriage counseling. Who else is asking a significant other for the square foot tool? I didn't ask my brother bought it for me. So there you go, brother. My brother bought it for me. Yeah, ruler and notes. So if you're gonna try the square foot method, toss in some hearts or some thumbs up, because I want to see who's gonna be with me. Now, I did say I am mainly doing that square foot in that garden bed because I've never done it before. So I'm just saying that's what I'm doing it for. Square foot gardening, that if you're a planner, that is for you. That's like dividing your bed into a grid of square feet. And that's what I'm doing with the big bed. 9 spinach plants per square, 16 radishes per square. And it's kind of strict, right? Kind of strict. So square foot gardening was invented by an engineer named Mel Bartholomew in the 1970s, who was frustrated that traditional gardening wasted so much space and water. His method became one of the most popular gardening books of all times. So for those of you that want to do some deep diving in the research, Google Mel Bartholomew from the 1970s and Google his book, and then you'll get a deep dive into square foot gardening. Oh, that silver tool thing, squaring for your husband, has one of those. So yeah, don't go out and buy the tool if you don't have to. You can, yes, I'm doing square foot in the Garvey. I'm doing square foot in the Garvey. Check out my video on the Garvey bed. And in it, like I said, it's because I've never planted in a raised bed for me, so that's what I'm gonna do. Mel is a cutie. Okay. So start with a 4x4 raised bed. You guys know that I'm starting with an 8 by 4 by 2. And then you can decide if you like it or not, right? So like CC said, Mel's book is the best. You have 3 copies. Oh, I don't have his book. You might want to share a copy. I'll give it back. Do I have any other gardening book? I actually have I don't have them out here. So that'll maybe the next stream, or Rose, I think you're in my Discord. Maybe I will put, yeah, in the Discord, I'll start a forum or a thread specifically talking about gardening books. I think you are in the Discord. So we'll do it there. How about that? You okay with that? CC says I'm doing it, but I'm not happy. CC, if it's not making you happy, you should probably not do it. Or are you doing it because you want, you'll send me a book? Okay. Yeah, you're in the Discord. So for those of you who want the book recommendations, come over and join us in Discord. My brother is goated. My brother's okay. Gardening resources and sites. Okay, yeah, absolutely. That's a great idea. Thank you, Rose, for that. Matter of fact, just so that I don't forget, I'm going to write it down so that I know, excuse me, to go and create the resources in Discord. So we'll do that. That's a deal. That is a deal. Okay. So, yeah, we will 100% do that. Yeah, so CC, if doing it doesn't make you happy, oh, thank you for the heart. If doing square foot doesn't make you happy, I don't think you should do it. That's just my personal opinion. Because y'all know that I feel like gardening should make you happy. Yeah, gardening is for food, but gardening is also a part of therapy. And if it's making you unhappy, don't do it. And I know that once your plants start coming up in the square foot method part, if you have space, CC, I know that you're going to go in and stick some random plants in those square foot things. So, good morning, Carol. How are you? Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, his methods have evolved over the years. It's a system for true. I need to look up the chaotic method. Is that where the seeds are just thrown in the ground? So chaotic gardening it's just free spirited. You see a place where you want the plant to go. Jack's is exclamation point Jack, I believe. I think that's hers. So yeah, chaotic gardening is simply this. And CC, Four Seasons, anybody that gardens in here, everyone has their own definition of it, right? Is you just do whatever, right? So chaotic is you see some space, you put a plant there and stuff like that. And you see it only works for mods. Yeah, don't let the square foot steal your joy. And then, so like, for example, right? You put flowers in the blank spaces to help with that. Oh, so look at there. Four Seasons. We on the same page. You put spaces, you put the flowers in the spaces and random things once your plants are growing up. Okay. So yeah, it's a free spirited method. It's exactly what it sounds like. You scatter a mix of compatible seeds across an area and you let it figure it out. And it could look wild at first and you could go in and do some thinning out, but think about it, right? It works well for wildflowers. There's a house at the end of my block. For the longest time, I was wondering what they're doing, and I finally figured it out. They go and they sprinkle a bunch of wildflower seeds on the side of their yard, and then as the seasons progress, they just have a bunch of beautiful flowers. And then I noticed them going outside cutting bouquets of flowers. Borage is a really good um, attractor. Okay. I wouldn't really try it with root vegetables. Um, Thank you, CC. We're actually, yep, there you go. Um, Root vegetables, you kind of have to be careful with. They need their own space. If you need the chaotic gardening for that, you're going to end up doing more work in the end. You're going to end up having to thin out, and that could be time consuming. So be careful with the chaotic method. And it looks like for the most part, most of us. Good morning, Habitual. How are you? Oh, maybe you'll make seed bombs with the mystery seeds. That sounds like a great idea. Sounds like a great idea. Let me know how that turns out for you. Now, I can't, I won't, yeah, I can't do it. I can't do too much chaotic gardening. I space things out and then I do like Jacqueline says, I try to put flowers in the mix of things that I feel like have too much space. And sometimes I notice that I go in and I put flowers or plants too close to each other. And when they're well and established, I hate moving them. So then I go through the whole gardening season upset that I planted plants too close. So, you know. And then while we're getting ready for spring and thinking about spring, um, let's also think about companion planting. Let's make our plants, they're having friends with each other. Let's end this poll. I can't. I don't want to. I can move them. I don't want to. Good morning, Rashida. I don't want to. Won't, CC, won't. uh, okay, so let's end this poll. Most of us do a mixture of both. I'm actually surprised. Let me tell you what I'm surprised about with this poll. The one thing that I'm very surprised about is that more people don't use square foot. I'm surprised. Most of us are doing a mix of both. A lot of people, 19% are doing the chaos. Hey, mind, body, soul, how are you? Watching on the big screen. How about that? But yeah. Now let's round it out a little bit. One example that you could do, right? Let me gardeners are mostly free spirited. Yeah, gardeners are mostly free. Chaotic is counterproductive. Different plants require different elements. Some versus others. Veggies, trees require more sun. Yeah. So I get what you're saying, LGG. I used to say that chaotic gardening is twofold. You have what I call lazy gardeners who just want to sprinkle seeds and see what happens. Then you have what I call structured chaotic gardeners that put stuff in places and they don't worry about the spacing, but they just put things where they want it. So that's a bit of chaos too, just planting things with not a plan necessarily, but kind of like companion planting them as well. So, and speaking of chaotic companion planting, this is also something that we need to think about. And this is something that I started thinking about last night. So I'm getting ready for spring, and I started thinking about what's going to go in what bed and why. And so when I started thinking about that, I'm like, okay, so I have basil, and I'm growing tomatoes. I'm going to put the tomatoes and basil together. What section of the garden are they going to go in? So then I started thinking about, okay, I'm going to have nasturtiums. I'm also going to have marigolds. Where are they going to go? So while you're thinking about getting ready for spring, have your plants make friends with each other. Think about the plan. And yeah, the point of planting is to get a nice harvest. So you also have to think about that. A habitual hobby says that I'm growing marigolds for the first time this year. You heard they are great companions for a lot of plants. Yes, they are. The marigolds deter their scent and their roots. Get rid of a lot of garden pests. For example, I always have a lot of marigolds. And where I plant my tomatoes is where I plant most of my marigolds. And since I've been doing that, knock on wood, because I don't want it to happen this year, I haven't seen a hornworm in years. I mean, and then now with the basil, there's that too, right? As I learn more, I'm trying to companion plant more with what plants will deter bugs. Yeah, when you learn better, you do better. That's what I like to say, right? And you got to try things. And so the marigolds and basil are basically they're like bodyguards for your other stuff. Yeah, planting food together benefits when you harvest. Absolutely. This year so Joe is saying you usually plant marigolds between your tomato plants. This year I'm alternating marigold and borders between them. Okay, absolutely. Marigolds and nasturtiums are pest fighters. Marigolds release a scent through their roots and leaves that may common garden pests absolutely hate, especially aphids and nematodes. Plant them around the border of your vegetable bed as a living fence. That's what I do. I'm also putting nasturtiums on the edges of my new raised bed, right? Because I want the nasturtiums to be able to hang over. I want it to look good, but I want it to deter stuff, but I also want it to be pretty. So, yeah, I really like marigolds. How many do I have to plant because the hornworms are in your yard every year? So I have these cinder blocks, and I plant every other cinder blocks. I don't know the exact measurement, so yeah, I plant a lot of them. Do I square foot my peppers? I don't. I should, but I don't. I don't want to. So last year, that's what I kind of did wrong. That's why the enclosure was so wild. I did not square foot them. I eyeballed it, and my eyeball check wasn't good enough last year. If you like marigolds, check out the Colossus Red Gold Biochar from Baker's Creek. Cool, will do. I should probably write that down. And I think that Tag sent me some of those Colossus seeds. COLOSSUS. All right, I think I have some of those seeds. So thank you for that, Joe. So where my marigolds were last year, I'm still gonna plant them, but I'm gonna mix in other flowers in the garden this year too. So it's gonna be a mix of different flowers, right? So another example is I think somebody, yeah, that's my art just said it. Basil also is good for your tomato plants. Um, some people say that planting basil next to your tomato plants um, helps the flavor. I don't know if that's true or not, but science suggests that basil repels some of the insect damage to tomato plants. And if they taste better, that's just peppers are 6 per square foot, if I remember correctly. 6? That seems like too many in 1 square foot. Um, 4 seasons. I don't know if yeah, I think it's 1 per square foot. You plant 1 pepper per square foot. I don't know if you fat fingered. Yeah, six per square foot is way too many. So for peppers, it's 1 per square foot. Um, yeah. And then I think we talked about this too. I'm gonna try it. The Three Sisters method. So corn, beans, and squash. We talked about this several streams. We talk about it often. Um, you need your basil to come up. You think you're gonna do the paper towel method for them? Give it a try. Can't hurt. Nothing beats a failure but a try. Nothing beats a failure but a try. Okay. I actually need to try some zinnias in paper towel method. I'm done trying zinnias in these hydroponic systems. I have grown. Look at the guide. I am, because I think it's one pepper. Yeah, it's one pepper per square foot, 4 seasons. One. And this one actually doesn't have the 6, so I'm going to have to Google that one. Hey, Crafty Gardener, how are you? Oh yeah, the snail roll method. Yeah, 1 square foot for, I'll tell you what's 1 square foot. Asparagus, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cabbage, cauliflower, eggplant, kale, okra, peppers, rhubarb, strawberries, large sunflowers, vine tomatoes. You said in dill? Dill's not on here. It gives you examples, but it didn't tell me dill, but I believe you. Okay. So one, uh, one pepper. My zinnias didn't sprout well, so I'll be trying the paper towel method as well. Uh, I could try the square foot is 1 9-foot woman shoe, maybe. So, yeah, I'm gonna try this Three Sisters method again. Um, and so you have the squash down at the ground, you have the corn that grows up, and then you have the beans that vine around the corn. So I'm hoping that it works. I think the last time I used the wrong type of beans, so we'll see. You did zinnias in the paper towel method and the basil in the snail roll, both works. Cool. You need the list. Okay. You need the list. Okay. And then, yeah. It also says that for pole beans, 9 seeds per square foot. Make sure you wait till the corn gets to be at least a foot tall before planting the beans. LGG, we the same. I need these low temps to go away so that we can go outside. You'll need to use pole beans for the, exactly. So that's why I went wrong last time. I didn't use pole beans. What type of beans are you going to use? Is it dragon tongue is the pole beans that I'm using? And there's also a green bean that is a polling bean that I'm going to use. So any type of pole beans you can use for Three Sisters. And I'm going to have at least 4 feet, I think. Yeah, 4 feet of the Three Sisters method because I want at least 4 square foot, a 4 square foot block. The dragon tongue is a bush bean. Okay, so I have pole beans. I just don't remember which one. Matter of fact, let me pull those out now and set them to the side. So I have beans here. Where are they? Beets. Hold on 1 second, you guys. Here we go. And some of the packet didn't say whether they were pole beans or not. So maybe you guys can help me. Kentucky pole beans are good. I might have some of those. So here's my packet of pole beans. And yeah, gardening this year is going to be fire. So, oh, funny you say that. I have the Kentucky pole beans right here. So here's what I wanted to ask. So you said dragon tongue is bush. Take those out and put them in the other one. Are these pole beans? Because it doesn't say purple pods for flower. It doesn't say on the packet. So the purple TP beans, are they pole beans? I don't know. And then I also have Chinese red noodle. But yeah, I'm also going to put bush beans in my raised bed because that way I don't have to plant them in my regular garden and I could plant something else. I did read the back of the package. It's not on there. Wait a minute. Maybe it is on there. Huh. It is on there. Thank you for having me go back and look. So this is a bush bean, requires no staking, direct seed after the last frost. So I'm going to have these. These are going to go probably in the raised bed as well. And I know that Unique is planting a bunch of beans this year. I think I saw Bama come in. Good morning. Don't use Chinese red noodle for the... Okay. And then this one is also a bush bean. So these are going to go into the raised bed. So I had to pull all those out. Now I need another container. Okay. All right. The TP are pole beans. On the back of the this says bush habit requires no staking. Are they wrong? Have you grown this before? All the beans, but you don't have these. The purple TP you don't have. Let me see how many. I might could send you some. Depends on how many are in this pack. I thought Three Sisters method was intended for drying corn and beans. Not necessarily. Is it too cold? It's too cold here to plant. Yeah. TP or bush beans. Big Bama High. Okay. So yeah. All right. So are we all ready? Are we calmer now that we don't have to worry about the spring? We're going to give the weather time to do what it needs to do. We are going to do all those things. Okay. So bush beans grow in bushes and pole beans grow up vines. Correct. Do those make purple hull beans? No, they don't. They're like, so I bought those the different color beans because you know you're not feeling calm to the cold. You'll pass on it. I'll do them next year. I'm doing 15 varieties of beans. No, I'm more hyped after this. Okay, more hype. That's what we want. We want more hype, more hype. Lima beans. I don't grow lima beans. I think my grandmother's. You think you started your peppers too late? I still have more peppers to start, so I don't think it's too late. Put them in now. So tell me what all you are planning to plant for the spring. I've been asking my family what they want because here's what I want to do. And give me a thumbs up if you feel the same, right? Some of us do a lot of experimenting with they plant. I'm in New Jersey 6B7A. Yeah, so start all your peppers now. I'm going to start more peppers today. I'm going to use a few spots for some tomatoes if I can find the spots for them, just for my grandmother. So yeah, Four Seasons on your way to church. All right, have a great day at church, Jacqueline. Here's the thing, right? I have seeds all over the place. I want to be intentional. I want to plant. I do want to experiment with some things that I've never grown before. But I don't want that to take over my garden. I want to eat the things that I plant. But I also want to make sure that the people in my house eat those things as well. So my daughter's going to eat a lot of lettuce, I know for sure. She's going to eat a lot of carrots, I know for sure. She doesn't like cooked carrots, but she'll eat a lot of carrots. She doesn't eat tomatoes. So the tomatoes will be for me. We eat greens. My husband said that he would like broccoli, so we're going to get more broccoli in there. So my goal, and I'm still going to have my peppers. I eat squash, so we'll eat squash for sure. I don't need to start, none of us need to, well, maybe if you're living in a very hot zone, but none of us really need to start, those of us that are in cold climates, start our squash right now. But so yeah, that's you do experience in small area, but you grow to preserve or have it fresh. So some stuff I'm gonna grow to preserve. I need to give myself some space here because we're about to start harvesting and transplanting what I have here. I need to use the space in my, so we're going to turn. I need to start using, I need to take some stuff out because I need the space back. So this morning, let me take these off. This morning, I'm going to harvest some. I don't know what's going on with this sticker here. Sorry, y'all. But my kohlrabi, I need to thin it. I'm not going to try to preserve it. It's growing outside the sticker here. I'm just trying to put it back. I might have to thin it out. But it looks like a lot of you guys will be growing beans and doing those things. So I'm going to raise you up a little bit. You need to grow some cilantro. So I need extra herbs and things like that. We took stuff out of the hydroponics last week. First thing I need to do here is some harvesting, right? So I'm gonna harvest the lettuce first, and then we're gonna start taking stuff out of these systems. And then where the holes are empty, I'm going to, matter of fact, while I'm thinking about it, I need to soak some sponges, because today we're gonna start my grandmother's tomatoes, and I'm gonna start some extra peppers today if I have the space for it. Did I get that ready tomato from your unit? Did you get that ready tomato from your, no, I don't know what you mean. Okay. I see a tomato here. Am I going to take it off, you mean? I hadn't planned on taking out the, just take some sponges out and wet them. You want ground cherries this year and tomatillos? I've never, it's going to sound weird. No, the tomato's not, I don't think it's ready. I don't think it's ready yet. I'm going to harvest the lettuce. And the lettuce might actually be, I don't think it's bolting, but there are plenty of tomatoes still in there. Let me just soak these sponges. You have tomatillos growing. I think I might have asked this before. What are tomatillos used for? Green salsa? Okay. Yeah, I don't think I eat tomatillos. Or I don't know if I would like them. I have another bowl over here. Okay. Yeah, I've never grown a tomatillo before, so I don't need these. Ground cherries are delicious. So move these fans out of my way. And we're going to start harvesting, because I don't want it to cover my little cucumbers here. I'm actually wanting to take this lettuce out and start some more. You see it dropping? Can you guys see what I'm doing? So, are there two? Yeah, there are two of them in here, and that's why this one is so bushy. Check it out. Yeah. Making a slight mess over here. And it's a good thing that I'm harvesting this lettuce, because I ran out last week. And I just want to make sure it's not bolting on me. So that's why I'm peeking in here. I don't think it is, so it can stay. Cut it all the way down. And this is salad bowl lettuce. And for this hydroponic system, there are 2 lettuce plants in each pod. And I love these little trimmers, by the way. I showed them to you guys last week. They're like fancy. All right. Now that gives my little cucumbers here off to the corner some room. So we saw the cucumbers yesterday. You have pigeon peas growing in your snail roll. You use them to make tamales. Just had some yesterday. Okay, just want to make sure I got everything you guys are saying. So here's my lettuce harvest here. I need to put a fan back up here. So I actually want to, and you guys tell me what you think, right? Yep, great salsa, but I like them fresh. Tomatillos were sweet last year. They tasted like plums. What kind of tomatillos were those? All right, question to the chat, right? This tomato plant is not very tall, but it grows out very bushy. There are lots of little baby tomatoes in there that have to grow up and be big. Here's my question. I want to start taking limbs off of it because I don't want to raise the light because I want my cucumbers to be good. Do you, would you trim it back for the sake of the cucumbers? I'll wait. You guys put it in the chat what you think. I'll wait before. I'll come back to this system last to see what everybody is saying. Hopefully we don't go over time today, but if we do, it's fine. But yeah, this tomato plant, transplanted, the tomato. Hey J3, are you saying take the whole tomato plant out? I don't want to take the tomato plant out. I want to leave it here. Yeah, I think I'm just going to trim it for now. I'll transplant it out when I start putting stuff outside probably. And I'll probably put it in a pot outside, but for now, I want to leave it in. I'll transplant it out whenever it's time, but for now, I think I want to trim it down, even if it means I have to sacrifice some tomatoes. So, can't get transplanted out right away. The first thing that I'll do is here, where are my gloves? So I bought, let me show you guys, I've been trying different, I don't have space, Shelly, so that's why I have to trim it down. And we know that tomato plants are resilient, so it's like, shouldn't really matter. All right, so give me 1 second. All right, so I'm gonna show you guys what I bought yesterday so that it's all right, Cece, watch those commercials. All right, so y'all know that I've been trying to figure out which potting mix is better for me. So I've never tried Black Cow potting mix before. This is not a paid promotion, by the way. So this is what I'm going to use to transplant some of the stuff out of the hydroponics today. I'm not using any seed starting mix, but we're going to take some of the things out of the hydroponics, transplant it into little cups. And if you've ever tried, it's not a sponsored video. If you've ever tried Black Cow potting mix, let me know. Let me get some pots real quick. Just gonna grab a couple of these little pots over here. I think I got some of these. Try some of these pots. And we're gonna transplant some stuff out. I think we're even. I've never seen Black Cow potting mix before either. So it'll be a first time. So I have some little cups here. We're going to transplant this celery. Baco makes really good potting soil, hard to get in retail stores. Okay. Crafty, you just started using Black Cow potting mix yesterday? How was it for you? Give me 1 second. I just need to cut this bag open real quick. And believe the soil is fairly moist already. Yeah. And I'm going to take a handful out. So it's been rainy here. So when I picked up the soil, it was kind of wet. I'll show you the makeup of it in a second. Put these gloves on because the soil is wet, wet. All right. So we got a little bit of time this morning. And all right. So, all right. I mean, let me bend the Rhonda. I've tried it years ago. You didn't really see the difference. Sometimes I don't either. So here's the makeup of the soil. Let me put some more in here so you guys can see it as I drop it down in there. So check it out. Doesn't seem, I mean, seems like just regular potting soil. Looks like they have some organic matter in there. Some, little sticks. They're not like huge sticks, but it's fine. Yeah, it looks very rich. And I want to replant these or separate some of these coxcomb flowers over here and pray that they don't die on me. Yeah, so looks like rich soil, right? So a lot of people use Happy Frogs. These are not the gloves that I was looking for. All right. So the first things first, you use Frog 2 from Fox Farm. Yeah, they don't have that in any of the garden centers near me. I kind of want to get at least one bag just to say that I try it. All right, Chasm, have a great one. So I'm going to take these out. I'm going to transplant the celery first. Pack it down in here. What, that I'll be hooked with the Happy Frog, you mean? Probably, but my pockets won't be hooked. I feel like sometimes I'm a very responsible person when it comes down to buying things. Am I going to be hooked because of the composition of the soil or how it is? Yeah, Ty, I've seen it too. That's why I said I put it in the atmosphere yesterday that Black Cow, if you see this and you want to sponsor me, do that. So yeah. Brother, what's that right for? I am a very responsible person economically. Just putting the holes in here. We're going to start with the celery first. Most of you guys have seen me transfer celery. I'm going to show you guys one celery. The one celery that isn't doing great, we're going to talk about it a little bit. Might have to trim it a little bit. So this celery needs to come out. See how big it is? And then what I'm going to do over on this particular hydroponic system is so check out these roots for this celery. I think this is the Utah celery. I'm not sure. But like I said, I'm being intentional about what I grow. Essentially because I know that my daughter will eat raw celery. You know how like you go to the restaurants and they give you raw celery with your chicken wings? She will eat all the celery when we order the chicken wings. All right, so here we go. We have, oh, good. There's only 2 plants in this one. Good morning, Miss Shirley. Good morning, Lynette. So check it out. There's really only 2 plants here. Should be easy enough to separate. But before I do that, let me wet up this soil. Because we know when you transplant hydroponic plants, we want them to go in very moist soil so that they go back in an atmosphere that is at least kind of similar. Unless you want something, then you want. I'm not sticking the commercials on you. YouTube did that to you. I didn't do it to you. All right. So I'm gonna try to move a little bit faster today, y'all. I'm not so bashful with these roots, so check it out. I cut it in half. Gonna stick it down in the soil. It's gonna be in a smaller cup than usual. She Natural, how are you? Gonna stick these roots down in here. What I also want to know is if you have grown celery before, does celery only survive in warm weather? Can you plant it when it's slightly cold outside? So we got one in. It's gonna look sad today, later today. All right, stick it over here, and then, oh, look at that. Grab me a bag of Happy Frog. Yo, Unique is my hero. I appreciate it. Woohoo, money in the chat. Yeah, okay. Just for that, Unique, after this stream, I'm going to order me a bag of that Happy Frog. That's what I'm going to do. See? This is why I love the garden community, because they know I want to try it, but they also know that I'm trying to think responsibly. So for that, I'm going to order Unique. You know what? You're great. You're amazing. All right. You want to grow celery this year? You trying to stay out of the casino? What casino? I love casinos. What casino is near you? Here's the other celery. Okay. And I want to say a couple nights ago, I transplanted this one out. You notice that there's one in the middle, and then the two on the sides are hanging down low. Are the two on the sides, like, are they going to glory on me? Should I cut them off and just leave the center to grow up? I mean, it's been days, at least three. And all the rest of them that I transplanted, they're standing up. But this one, see the sides that are hanging down? It's about to go to heaven. What would you do? You grew your celery all year long? So the reason why I ask is I'm wondering if I could start planting out some of this celery in my garden bed, even if I have to cover it. That's why I want to know. That's why I want to know. All right, so we got that celery out. We got one more to get out. My celery came back 3 years in a row before you did. They come back? No, I didn't know that. Hey, Michael, how are you? Yeah, cut the sides. That's what I was going to do, LGGG. All right, so we got another one here. There's only 2 plants, and this one is, well, check it out. It died when you, yeah, cut the sides. Okay, so I'll cut the, matter of fact, I'm going to do that as soon as I get this out. And then, like we talked about this morning, so this one, oh, perfect. So there are 2 in this one too. Check it out. But they're kind of close, so this one is going to be cutting it close. Trying to be as gentle as I can be, but just get it done and over with. Oh, I think I might have RIP'd a part of this celery. But we're going to put it in there. Check it out. I might have cut it too close. I think I did. Did I kill that? I think I did. If I did, it's okay, because I have more than enough. I'm not even going to try. I have more than enough celery over there. So we're just going to plant this one out. Where are my gloves at? That's what I get for going fast. I wasn't careful. That one is going to glory. Yeah, I RIP'd that one. I did that myself. But the other one, it's going to make it. And I'll bend the camera down in a few. Matter of fact, let me do that now. Check it out. So you see, I don't know if you can see it. Chat might be in the way. Yeah, this last celery might be a little bit sad. Okay. 4 minutes. I might go a little bit over today. Might. All right. So in here, I have pods. We might go a little bit over today. If everybody needs to dip, that's fine. And because I need to plant my grandmother's tomatoes in this system right here. Dark tomatoes. So it's just tomatoes that she can't find. All right, getting ready for Bible study. Okay. Here we go. And I'm going to slightly overseed it. Okay. So, what is this? I'm going to plant her a Cherokee purple. Put 2 of those in there. Oh, my stickers. And my garden marker. So I can write what is what. All right. And the baskets. I'm not prepared. Here we go. Baskets. All right. So we're planting out right now. Yep, both of them went in there. It's going to be a Cherokee purple. Going to put on one side. That Gilbert girl, hello. We're going a little bit over today, you guys, so I apologize. But once I'm in the groove of it, I kind of want to finish it. What is today's date? March the 15th. All right, so we got 1 tomato here. And then I got to get her a black creme. These are kind of older, month before tax deadline. That's right. If you haven't filed your taxes, please do. How many of you guys use TurboTax? If you do, my brother is I don't know if he's an affiliate, a partner, or what, but he has a discount code if you need it. Brother, are you still in the chat? If you use TurboTax and you haven't filed your taxes and you need a little discount to use TurboTax, you use it. Do you need a discount code for it? My brother could probably give you a discount code to use TurboTax. So I'm putting 2 black creme in there. Look at there, the squirrels out in my garden. Black creme here. Yes, you need one. CC, if he doesn't type it in the chat or put it in there, I'll email you the code to get a discount. So, black, 20% off if you found, brother, type drop your link in the chat for people to use. Let's see, black creme. And we just gotta hope that these come up. Put it in Discord. I'm helping your time with working. I'm glad that I can help you, Tasha. Black creme. All right, so we got peppers in here, black creme. What other tomato? And see, Cherokee purple, black creme. Okay, the other one is going to be the brandy wine. I'm going. You glad I'm doing hydro this year? Okay, you can email it to me and I'll send it to her. So these tomatoes are really just the tomatoes that, like I said, she said that she didn't want to buy the plants there this year. Do y'all know? Oh, beefsteak. She told me yesterday she has these thing called jumbo beefsteaks, which are normally bigger than the regular beefsteak. Uh-oh, too many. All right. Brandy wine. Oh, you did your taxes already. You wish you knew ahead of time. My bad. All right. And then we're getting these brandy wine in. Toss it down in there. And I'm going to put it in the back here. That is the brandy wine. Let me write that on a sticker. I'm growing Phil's 2 this year. What is it? Is it like a purple tomato? Cece, what is the Phil's 2? All right, see you tonight, Jacqueline. All right, brandy wine. Got that in there. I feel like I need to fill more holes. All right, so we got the purple tomatoes in, and then there were other tomatoes that she wanted. I think they were slicer tomatoes. Actually, that's something on the, yeah, thank you for dropping that in there for the chat and chew. Yeah, I need slicer tomatoes. Who knew? Check this out, y'all. Simon is trying to get under the house again, but there's a gate down there. You see him? Simon decided to make an appearance. I hope he goes around to the other hole and we can see him get trapped. So once, oh, he's running over there now. Crazy. That's crazy work. Hold on, let me show you again. He climbed the fence. You see him? And now he's crawling down. Yes, that is Simon. I guess Simon decided he didn't want to go into the trap that we have set. Who is Simon? Simon is our neighborhood groundhog that's been trying to dig and get under our house. She said, who was Simon? So I didn't want to use it on live stream, Patty, but I do have one. But yeah. So now y'all know that I don't make it up. Simon. Oh, that must not be Simon. Simon went that way. There's another one over there that's big. Simon's over here. The one that was just here digging, that must have been Paul. Paul was digging. Simon's over there. There's two of them. I don't know if I can zoom. I don't want to zoom. All right. I do not need to get distracted. But now I know there are two. That's his father. Paul ran that way. Simon's over there. It's a family of them. And you're right. And there's a skunk. Simon or Paul both can be on your plate. Cece, and they fat. They're really, really fat. Either way, he looks delicious. Not you too. All right, why are they named after? I didn't realize they were named after apostles. What else do y'all want to name them today? All right, let me. So, what was I doing? So, I heard something and I'm like, what is that noise? Look down and he trying to dig under. Shame. Shame, shame, shame. All right. All right. No more tomatoes for her. I have what I call pasta tomatoes. All right. She can get name them dinner. They won't be on my dinner table. I don't eat that. We from Texas. We eat meat. You can have it. If we catch them, y'all can come get them. So San Marzano and then Ace 55. Those, they coming from everywhere. Now there's one in that backyard. Let me show you. And he's standing up. See him? Is he about to come over here? Look at that, climbing the fence. They climb. Where's he going? I hope he get caught in. This trap over here. Is he coming back? He's at the edge. Now he takes off running. On that note, did he climb back over the fence? He did. All right. On that note, I think I'm going to end today's live stream because I need to go inside and have a serious conversation with this husband of mine. So, this has been exciting. He's sitting on the edge of the fence. They want to get under this house, and I need to know why. We need to call the trapper back because he didn't put a trap on this side. Let's take a couple minutes to talk about. Let's take a couple minutes to talk about what we just saw. They are not scared of us, and they want to get under this house. We're going to have to call the trapper back. He didn't put one on this side of the house. And I'm going to have the trapper watch this live stream. No, it's a groundhog. And, yeah. Look at me. So, everybody, you have a nice day. Have a nice day. And if their baby's under there, they're going to go to heaven. Have a nice day. And I will see you guys next weekend. Uh, Let me just say, Garden Girls chat tonight. Cece, while I'm doing this, can you drop you guys's? I don't think there are babies under there because that's been covered. They just woke up. Drop you guys chats, um, channels in the chat. Drop the Discord in the chat. So this week, you're gonna see the potatoes come out. Last week you saw the garden bed. Um, Shelly's podcast episode is coming out tonight. Not tonight, tomorrow. There's an episode dropping today. Watch Garden Girls tonight. And I hope everybody enjoys the content. Make sure you plant really, really good. Plant a lot of good stuff. Calm down. Let's not put things out in the garden before it's time. This weather is crazy. So yeah, I'm holding it together here. No, I don't want to domesticate them. I want them to go away. So yeah, everybody have a nice day on purpose. Peace out, everybody. I'll see you guys around. I'm going inside to have my husband watch the end of this live stream so he can see that there are multiples of these things in our yard. Okay? And then I'll come back, and the members only video is going to be quite interesting, you guys. So if you're members, stay tuned for the members only video that'll drop later today, because this is a mess. And you see I'm holding it together. I'm doing so good. I'm proud of myself right now, y'all. All right. Bye, everybody.